Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Mithril, what's up, dude? What's going on, everybody? How are you? How are you? Happy Mother's Day to everybody celebrating it today. Good to see you guys. I'm not going to do gaming content today, and I think I'm actually going to take off from gaming content for at least a chunk of this coming week. I don't know, I feel like I need it. I'm just kind of like in a rut, dude. I'm in a rut. I've got some other stuff that I need to take care of too. I've been not being able to find the time to work on some stuff that I need to get done, and I don't know. I just feel like I need to have a few days to focus on some other things. So I've just decided to go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna do that. I don't know, but it's an important day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, all the amazing people that do such a great job of raising the good people in the world, and you know, anybody that has important mothers in your lives, whether it be your own mother or maybe a partner in life that has been a part of helping you raise your children or whatever, you know, try to take that time today to show that appreciation. It's not an easy job. I can tell you for sure that raising me came with its trials and tribulations. And so having a mother myself that was able to power through some of that and you know, stick with me until I came to my senses a little bit, you know, was a big deal. And you know, so I don't know if there's anybody in your life that's done that kind of thing, whether it be for you yourself, and you know, shout out to Mom Sherry as well. Rest in peace, you know. That's random mode time. Let's go. That's a tough one for me. This can be a tough day as well, so I understand that. That's one of those. It's one of those days that makes me think about somebody in my life that isn't with us anymore. So that's a tough one. But to my own mother and to my mother-in-law and to my wife, you guys are amazing and I appreciate you. So I don't know. Let's get into it. So no gaming content today, and I think at least for 2 or 3 days this week, I'll probably just do the news, okay? So I hope everybody understands. It's just been, I've been feeling in a bit of a rut. I need to kind of take a step back and I think refresh a little bit. I mean, I love video games, man, and I love hanging out with you guys, and I still want to do the news every day and stay current on stuff, but I just think I need a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a refresher, man. I've got some other stuff I need to work on and get that done, so I hope everybody understands. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. Let's get to the video gaming news stuff, and then we'll call it a day and let everybody celebrate this special day with their loved ones and all the mothers in the world. Cool. Let's do it. First of all, this is what we're doing. That's not right. There we go. Listening to Loop Hero this morning. Very cool game, very cool soundtrack. Highly recommend. Indie devs, you know we love our indie devs, so I don't know. Highly recommend checking it out. Roguelike game. Kind of got an auto battler to it, but it's very RPG. Got a cool story behind it and everything too. And the soundtrack's dope, so go check it out. Yeah. Let's get into the news. Dude, I might have to just do some searches for a while that have nothing of Tears of the Kingdom in it, you know? Another 7 hours in, nice catch. Right on, man. I think I'm having a bit of an issue actually, just because I played Breath of the Wild so recently. It just for me it's just feeling a lot like a continuation almost. It's just feeling like like a continuation of like Breath of the Wild. So I know there have been a lot of people that have been waiting on a new Zelda game for a long time, and I understand the hype behind it for a lot of people. But I think for me, yeah, yeah, I think for me, because dude, I just played Breath of the Wild for the first time, through December and the beginning of January, and so like being back in it, it just feels like being playing Breath of the Wild again, you know. Yeah, I mean it's got its differences for sure. It definitely does, and I'm interested in what they've done with it's a multi-level world now. I've found that at this point, right? So it's not just the one world. You've got your floating island stuff. You've got some underground dungeon kind of stuff too, and that's really neat. I mean, there's definitely differences, but at its core, really, it's the same thing, you know. So I'd probably be a bit more stoked about it had I not just recently played Breath of the Wild. It's so similar, dude. It's just so similar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I found it at the end of the day yesterday, so yeah, I was running through there a little bit. I haven't done anything extensive. I haven't spent a ton of time in the game. I think I've only got, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours in the game right now, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time off from gaming. So I'll still do the news every day, but I need a bit of a break. I feel I just feel, I don't know, man. I'm in a rut. I'm in a bit of a rut. So I'm going to take some time off and just try to refresh a little bit, get some other things done. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that again. I mean, it's basically what I expected, but I think I would probably, you know, I would just probably be having more time. I'd be more excited about it had I not just finished Breath of the Wild. I think is just what I'm getting across with it. Mm. I mean, from I haven't played the game extensively or anything yet. I mean, just from what I experienced playing Breath of the Wild to what I'm playing now in Tears of the Kingdom, it doesn't seem. And I never played Breath of the Wild on normal, so I don't have any kind of comparison. But it's not anything close to what like Master Mode was, you know. So I can't comment on that really. I can comment to the fact that it doesn't feel the same, you know. But as far as I've never played either, I haven't played Breath of the Wild on normal, so maybe they do feel a little bit buffed. They don't. It doesn't feel like the same game as what Master Mode was. So, um, and a big part of what that comes down to is like enemy health regen. I've already I think about it all the time playing already. Uh, um, I've thought about it quite often actually already in fights where I'm like fighting enemies and I expect their health to be going back up and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's not there. I don't have to worry about that." So, I don't know. It's a significant difference. It really is. It's a significant difference in the difficulty of how you have to address everything. You're not rushed. You're not rushed. It's a big deal in master mode. Having that regen on the enemies makes you feel like you have to rush down enemies, and especially when you're fighting in groups, you have to really focus down the enemies that you've put most of the damage on before they start regenning that health back. So it does present an entirely different way that you have to go about addressing the game. So whether or not normal mode has tougher enemies, uh, dude, there are arrows everywhere. Yeah, there are arrows everywhere. And I've noticed that too. Yeah, it's like everywhere I go, anything I smash out, there are arrows all over the place, man. Yeah, which is cool because yeah, it did feel like that in Breath of the Wild. It felt like you were always struggling for arrows, especially like the first half of the game. It did feel like a struggle for arrows all the time. Like you were having to just go purchase arrows all the time, or you know what I mean? It was crazy. And the fuse stuff is dope, dude. The fuse stuff is really cool. I like it a lot. That is, I think, by and far the coolest thing that I've seen in the game so far is the fuse system. It's really really neat. There's a lot of combinations I haven't even seen yet. Fuse and the so the fuse system along with the what is it, the hand stuff, where you can combine and make items and everything. I think that what that does for the world, it presents the world as what a lot of what Breath of the Wild did for just the uniqueness of figuring things out um, in shrines. Right? I think the world has been opened up to creativity now, which is really really neat. I like that. I like the fact because that was one of the greatest things. One of my most favorite things about Breath of the Wild was that it gave you the opportunity to be creative with the ways that you wanted to figure out how to accomplish things, and most of that was found in the shrines. And yeah, yeah. I mean, there are already differences. I don't think that it's ever going to set itself apart. I think I mean it's definitely it's I don't know, it's tough, dude. It's tough to there are differences and there are not differences. It at its core it's the same exact game. It does have differences. Um it's definitely not the groundbreaking game that Breath of the Wild was. Yeah, I got you. I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be the same like story. I mean, it's definitely another game, but it's just I don't know. It feels the exact same. I've already had hitbox issues, swinging straight through enemies and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like there's some of it where I was playing the other day and I was just like face palming. And I'm like, oh god, it's the same exact game, dude. It felt the exact same, dude. I was like, oh, no. I did have a funny clip yesterday though, where I like fell, or it was the day before, I can't remember. I fell like a long ways, dude, and I just had enough to pull my glider out right before I hit the ground, and then I was like coming right down on top of some horses, and I hit one of them with my weapon to try and make sure because I did a ground slam to try to make sure because sometimes that can help and prevent taking like fall damage. So I did that. At least it seems like, anyways. And then as soon as I did it, one of the other horses like did a back kick and hit me, and I had like no life left, and it killed me. I was like, oh god, dude. Yeah. Mm, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know you have a lot more time in the game than I do right now, so I would assume that you've gotten some kind of indication that that could quite possibly be the case. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I mean, again, I think that overall Breath of the Wild was amazing, and for Nintendo, it's kind of a situation of if it's if it works, then why change it, right? And if it's not broken, why are you trying to fix it, right? It's kind of that situation. Now, to be fair, there are some things about the game that are the exact same as Breath of the Wild that I felt like I would have liked to seen some progression from them on, but you know, It's Nintendo. So overall, the game's good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be different. You know. Oh, you haven't. You're just guessing and hoping. That's all that is. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, yeah. I think the thing is like I'm assuming that the next Legend of Zelda game we get is going to be on entirely new hardware, right? If it's not, dude, something's incredibly wrong. So I would assume the next one we get is on a new platform. It'll probably be quite a bit different. It'll have similarities too, I think, but it'll be a much different game from like Tears of the Kingdom to whatever the next Zelda game is, as opposed to like what the differences are between Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, right? It'll be more like what the difference is that like I think what Breath of the Wild brought to the table. It'll be a much more eye-opening, different kind of experience. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and I agree. Well, the thing is, they can't do a whole lot more anyways. I mean, the hardware, and I'll tell you this, dude. I experience a lot of lag in this game. I get iterations of lag and stutter in this game. It happens. And again, I probably see it more because I play at high frame rates all the time. But so being locked at 30, anytime anything drops below that, it's really, really noticeable for me. And I see a lot of it. I see a lot of it. I mean, this hardware is old, and I don't think they can do a whole lot more with it. I see it. I see a lot of it, dude. Especially when you're using abilities. I expected it though. I mean, I knew that they were going to try to make the world even bigger. Um, it's not like a consistent thing where it lags and it drops and it stays there for like minutes at a time, and then it levels back out, and then it's nothing bad like Hogwarts Legacy had, or Elden Ring had, or any of those other notes. It's just it's sporadic, it happens, and I'm experiencing it more often than anything I experienced in Breath of the Wild, outside of like particular areas we knew that the game was, like the Korok Forest. Korok Forest was really laggy all the time. I haven't experienced anything to that extent. Korok Forest was terrible in Breath of the Wild. Anytime you got in there, it was just lag city, man. But I've experienced a lot of just random, and a lot, like I said, a lot of times it's whenever I'm like using abilities, grabbing things, panning the camera, and like grabbing things and panning the camera around and stuff. I'll feel a lot of that lag and the frame rate drop. I get a lot of it, but that I don't think they can do a whole lot more with the game right now. So I think they're just real constricted hardware wise. I really think they are. Yo, Gabs, what's up? Well, yeah, and I've said that. I've said that too. Well, I mean, call it lag, call it frame drop, call it whatever. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Same thing. Um, it'll just start kind of frame dropping on me, man. Um, so Gabs, how you doing? What's up? I mean, that was one of the things that was always impressive to me, anyways, about Breath of the Wild was that, and I expected this game to be the same way. They do a great job of developing that kind of stuff in these games. Breath of the Wild was notoriously really, really good for the fact that no matter where you were in the world, you could see the background didn't default to some generic kind of facade, right? It wasn't like a generic background that would load in, and as you got closer to things, it would actually load in the real environment. That's not the way it worked, which is what a lot of games on Switch do, like Pokemon Arceus and stuff like that, right? So, um, I they did a great job with it. I expected them to do that with this game because they did a great job with it in Breath of the Wild too. It's one of the things that I've always pointed out, even before I played Breath of the Wild. I knew how good of a job they had done with that game. With just didn't matter where you were in the world. Background never was like a load in. Depending on like how close you needed to be to it, you could just always see everything. I figured they'd do the same thing with this game, and not a whole other developers have done a great job on the Switch of doing that kind of thing in the open world environments. To be honest, uh, wait, what? I haven't gotten in. So wait, you can auto select the ingredients from the previous recipe. So wait though, but your recipes are gone if you don't have any of that food left, right? And I haven't seen the auto select stuff yet. I've seen a ton of lag. I don't know how nobody's seen it, but I've seen a ton of it. And again, it's nothing that's like affecting the gameplay significantly, but dude, I've seen a ton of like just sporadic frame drop in my gameplay. It's really obvious to me, especially when the game is locked at 30 frames. Anytime frames drop, it starts looking stuttery, dude. I've seen a lot of it. I can't tell if you're trolling me or not because I haven't seen anything updated. Uh, no, but I have it, Gabs. I want to play it. I have it, and I want to play it. I haven't. No, I'm positive, dude. I'm positive. I'm very positive. Yeah. So good. Yeah, I know. I love RDR1. I love RDR1. So I bought RDR2 at the end of last year. Um, and so I'm really excited to play RDR2. I just got to figure out a time to get it into the schedule and everything. Um, yeah. So the quality of life with this cooking, I haven't seen it yet. And the previous recipes are the same thing that Breath of the Wild had, right? So I mean, I haven't seen anything different from that. It's not like you have a recipe book or anything like I was wanting them to do with Breath of the Wild. It's still like if you have a recipe or if you have a meal in your inventory, the recipe can be pulled up just like it could in Breath of the Wild. But if you've eaten that food and you don't have any more of it, that recipe's gone. Yeah. But they have auto select in it. Oh, that sucks, Ferret. I mean, if that's the case, say made where you can actually go in and look at the recipes on the food you've made, and they're like auto select to create. That's cool, but why didn't they just take it a step further and do what they needed to do anyways? Then, and just make it a recipe book, and just let you auto select and quantity make stuff through that. It's still gonna blow my mind that they just didn't do that. Okay, so I haven't played the like as far as the recipe stuff goes. I haven't really taken a look at the recipes in the game because it seemed the exact same as what Breath of the Wild was to me. I haven't really looked at it yet. So Breath of the Wild, if you made a meal, you could go to that meal and pull up the recipe, right? That's the same thing Breath of the Wild was. Um, I mean, so in this one, you can actually bring up the recipe for the meal you've cooked, and it'll give you an option to cook it again or whatever. Is that what I'm understanding? See something. So this, I'll just let you guys read this. Look, I just found this, but I mean, I think that I'm not the only one that's noticing that there's still like frame drop and stuttering in the game. I think that maybe there's a difference depending on if you're playing physical or digital edition of the game, but there are articles out there talking about it. Again, it's not like it's super significant, but dude, I'm seeing it, and I'm not the only one. There are articles out there talking about it too. This hardware is maxed out on a game like this, and it's not like it's totally like ruining the experience or anything, but there are articles out there that are talking about it too, and I haven't even like specifically been looking for it online until right now because you guys are saying you can't see it, but dude, I definitely see it in my gameplay. I see it. Okay, so if that meal is gone, do you still have that recipe available? If you no longer have that meal in your inventory, is that recipe still available? I'll have to check in my game. It was like, I saw automatically that it was like, oh, if you've made this food, if you've made this meal, you can go into your inventory and look at that meal and pull up the recipe. Like that was the tutorial, and I was like, well, it's the same exact thing as Breath of the Wild, then, And I was just like, well, there's no point in it. As long as you have one of the ingredients. So even if the meal's gone, as long as you have an ingredient, you can still see the recipe. Really, I'll have to look into it. That's at least better. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All I had seen was recipes off of the mill so far. So if that's the case, that is much better. Yeah, for sure. And they'll let you select to cook that meal just based off of that recipe. Is that correct too? I'll take a look at it next time I play. I just disregarded it because it just when they gave me the tutorial, that's all it said. It was like, if you've made a meal, then you can look at the recipe off of the meal, and I was like, okay, well, it's just the same thing as Breath of the Wild. So I just kind of totally disregarded it. Or is it just? Oh, okay, okay. I'll have to look into it next time I play. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know the ingredients themselves would give you an indicator that they are part of a recipe as well. I hadn't seen that yet, or I hadn't noticed it. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. It's at least, I mean, if they do that, if they give you that where they're actually logging that stuff, I mean, there's no need for a recipe book then. If ingredients give you a list of all the recipes that they've been a part of, then that's cool, man. It circumvents that issue, right? I just hadn't noticed it yet. So that's good stuff. Now, giving you the option to just cook meals based off the recipe if you have all the resources for those meals, and letting you mass cook. That's where the big issue was for me. It's nice that they're maintaining a log of the meals that you're cooking and everything now, but the big issue for me was always the time waste of not being able to like quantity cook meals. I hated that. And I haven't seen anything so far that's given me the option to quantity cook meals either. So that's just another, that's one of those things. I really wanted them to fix that. I really wanted to see that be put in as quality of life, and it's just not there. That's just another one of those things where it just feels like I'm playing Breath of the Wild again, I think, you know. So it's whatever. But again, look, um, I don't think that like the like laggy frame drop stuff in Tears of the Kingdom is really anything or is going to be anything worse than what we saw in Breath of the Wild. But I see it in just the under 10 hours I've already spent in the game. I've seen it a good number of times. It's not a surprise to me, but it's there, guys. It really is. Um, I don't know. I don't know how you guys haven't seen it. But it's. I mean, I expected it to be there. All right, fair. I expected it to be there. Breath of the Wild was the same way. This game's going to be, even bigger. I expected this game to be even bigger, like world-wise and everything too, which was just going to be even more intense on, the amount of RAM the game has and stuff like that, and so for people to just, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that's really, really easily visible to me whenever it happens. And throughout my gameplay, I pointed it out when it does happen too. So I don't know. As I continue to play the game, I'll point it out to people whenever the frames are dropping on me. So I don't know. I wonder if I can get like I'll have to look into seeing if I can get some kind of like frame rate overlay or something for the game. So we can try to like keep track of it while we play the game, because it has been pretty obvious to me whenever it happens. So I don't know. Again, I mean, they're pushing with this software, they're pushing this hardware to its max. So it's not, and it's nothing compared to like a lot of the terrible performing games that have been dropping this year. It just feels like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild had the same stuff in it. All right, let's see what we got for the news. I think RTX the 3000 series cards can't really do 4K gaming. I think they can, but I think it depends on what game you're trying to play at 4K. That's always going to make a difference. So to just like stereotype the card as not being able to do 4K gaming, that's not fair. How many frames are you trying to push? What game are you trying to push? All of that matters. So to just go, they can't do 4K gaming, that's not true. They absolutely can. But what game are you trying to do at 4K? Right? That's the big like constraint there. And yeah, I mean across the entire series, that's also not necessarily fair, because you know you're gonna, well, dude, I mean, that's quite often what you're gonna get out of 4000 series cards too. Obviously, like, you going for like, if you're going for like a 3080 or something, it's going to do better than like a 3060 will. 3060 is going to struggle at a 4K setting, right? You can't just take like the entire 3000 series lineup and go, oh, they just can't do 4K. That's not. That's not true. It's and you know obviously the 4000 series is going to be able to handle that stuff better, but even the 4000 series cards. I mean, if you're trying to go play something like I don't know God of War at like 120 frames at 4K resolution, you know, it's probably going to struggle. You know what I mean? So, um, just depending on what like what all settings you have, you know, it'd probably be a little bit easier if you turned off like a lot of the blooming effects or shadows and maybe had settings set to like medium or you know there are a lot of things that go into that kind of talk, you know, but to just like totally take the entire 3000 series card and say that they just can't do 4K. I don't know that I'd necessarily agree with that, buddy. A lot of it's going to come down to like what kind of settings are you trying to run at 4K? How many frames are you trying to run at 4K? What game is it? You know, things of that nature. So, and are we talking like a 3060 or 3070? It's not going to do quite as well as like a 3080, something like that, right? So, um, I don't think we can just like lump all of those into the same. You know, there's a lot of different things to talk about there as far as that goes. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think it depends. Yeah, it depends. 'Cause I'll tell you, even and how well was the game developed? That plays a big part, right? How well was the game developed? I mean, because dude, I'm running a 3070, right? I'm running a 3070. I run 1440p resolution. I almost always run like a 120 frame, output. That's almost always what I run, and I very rarely have any issues on a game that's optimized really well, that's developed really well. I hardly ever have any issues, you know. So, now there are absolutely like some games that get really, really graphically intensive that I'll have to go in there and like probably, if I don't want to bring my frames down, I absolutely need to like pull down my visual settings to like probably medium, turn a lot of those additional effects off and stuff to make sure that I'm getting a real stable 120. You know, um, well, that's not all it's talk. That's not all it said though, Ferret. I patched before the game too, dude. That's not all that article said. Solved many of the issues reviewers were having with the frame rate dropping and stuttering before that patch came out. Um, After the update, you'll notice it holds a steady 30 frames for the majority of the time. Unfortunately, you will still run into frame drops and the occasional stuttering. Tears of the Kingdom is taking the Switch to the max in both handheld and TV modes. There's just not any overhead left to squeeze more performance out of it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting at. Okay. Well, I don't know. I have. That's all I'm getting at. I have. It's been very noticeable for me. I expected it though. Again, I expected it. Um, Breath of the Wild had it too. This game's even bigger. Yeah. I mean, well, dude, I think you're probably further in the game than I am. I haven't played it a whole lot. So, but those are things that I constantly watch for in my gameplay too. Um, I haven't used a frame rate overlay or anything yet either though. It's just been very noticeable to me. I've hit small periods of situations where it'll hitch, it'll hitch up on me, and I can tell it's just bad frame drop. See, I it was more like it was more specific areas most time, but there were still some just random occasions of just like frame drop in the game and stuff like that too while I played the game. So I just expected it to be in this game too because this game's even bigger, right? I mean, and that's like exactly what I just read is my kind of my sentiment too. This is not a situation where I'm talking about like this game feels unplayable or anything. And it's if it happens very quickly and then it kind of levels back out. So I'm not. I'm just noting what I've experienced, and this is one of my big issues with the Switch. The hardware is old. The hardware is also super underpowered for these types of games. I think Nintendo getting done what they're getting done in these Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom games is really impressive considering the hardware they're working with. I don't think a lot of other developers are able to get this kind of thing done. I don't think I think Nintendo is doing a bang up job, really. You know, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I noticed it. I just noticed it. And so, but I expected it also. So I'm not like knocking the game necessarily. I expected it to happen. Hogwarts Legacy's not coming out on Switch, dude. I'm calling it. It already got delayed. It got delayed yesterday. Hogwarts Legacy's not coming out on Switch, bro. Just like Genshin Impact was supposed to come out on Switch. You know what I mean? So, like, we read yesterday that like Hogwarts Legacy was, supposed to be dropping on the Switch in like July or something. Now it's been pushed back to November. Genshin Impact can't even come out on the Switch, dude. Like so I don't believe that something like Hogwarts Legacy is going to really be able to come out. And if it does, if it comes out on Switch, it's going to be a significantly degraded version of that game. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to play the same, which, I mean, it might play the same as it did on PC because PCs was a piece of crap, you know? Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Is it still stuttering and stuff for you when you play it? Like, are you still getting like significant like stutter and frame drop in it, or is it pretty steady? I know, Ferret. Hold on. That was always one of the things to me too. But I mean, yeah, I know. I agree. I find it weird, but I think there are a lot of developers that are just they like they have a hard time with more modern software getting it to run on the Switch. And the more they try, the more they look at it and go, I don't know that this is worth, you know, that's the way it comes off anyways, you know? And Genshin apparently Huyo because Huyoverse is their developer, I think. And oh really? So they finally got it like kind of worked out. Maybe that's good. Worse, that's good. That game felt terrible on release, dude. It was so gross. I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it, man. And yeah, again, like the Tears of the Kingdom thing, like the random iterations of like frame drop that I've in the lag that I've experienced, it's nothing significant. It's nothing on the front of like what I experienced with something like Hogwarts Legacy on PC. So it's not like affecting my gameplay so far. It's just been noticeable. So that was it. That's all I'm pointing out. It was nothing. I'm not talking like because again, you're locked at 30 frames, right? You're locked at 30 frames. I'm not talking about like the game's going down to like single digits or anything. That's not the case. It's not like that. I don't even think it's probably going down below like 20 frames even or anything, but I can just see it. It's really noticeable to me whenever a game that is already locked at like a 30 frame per second rate hits below that. Whenever you're at a low frame rate already, and then you start hitting below that, dude, it's like it's really obvious to me whenever those kinds of things hitch up because I think I've been playing at really high frame rates for so long. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just happening for different people. I don't know, or different editions of the game or something. I have no idea. But I updated mine too. I updated my game before I ever started playing it. Not using DLSS as they used an out of date version in the game. Dude, I tried so many things. I adjusted so many configuration settings for the game, like not in-game settings either. I'm talking like going in and doing what there were so many guides people were putting out there to try to get the game to flow right for people. So going into the actual engine configuration settings for the game and the files of the game, doing stuff like that. And then I actually installed and input like the newest version of DLSS into the game and everything too. Nothing, dude. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. That game just played like crap all the time, dude. It was terrible. Terrible. I probably won't ever play it now, which sucks. But well, and I think it might even be. That's one of the reasons I want to get an overlay though, and see if I can get an overlay on the Switch to show what the frame output is. Um, Sometimes it doesn't, because even with other games that I've had some like frame drop on and stuff, it doesn't output to you guys as the way I see it either. So um, I don't know. I don't know if you guys would be able to see it the way I'm seeing it. I would hope so, but that's not a definite either. So um, I'd rather try to see if I've never looked at trying to run a frame overlay on the Switch. I don't even know if they have anything like that you can actually implement. So I would need to look at it. I'm kind of doubtful on it, but I've been trying to point out whenever during the gameplay I start running into it and stuff. But quite there are a lot of occasions where I'll have that happen in games and I'll point it out, and you guys are like, "Oh, I didn't really see anything." Yeah. Didn't see a lot of what I saw. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things that I figure that like even if I'm because I haven't hit any area in this game so far that's been nearly as bad as someplace like Korok Forest was. So again, nothing in the game so far has dropped or gotten stuttery like Korok Forest was, not even close. So I'm not like knocking the game right now. I'm noting it's not even a knock on the game. I'm more taking a shot at like Nintendo's hardware than anything. You know what I mean? I think it's really impressive actually what they've been getting done with this game and Breath of the Wild for what the hardware is of the Switch. I think that really this is more taking a shot at Nintendo for still trying to put out modern games on. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is really. I'm impressed that they've been able to get something done of this caliber on that hardware. I mean, it's pretty impressive. That hardware is old and it's not very powerful. So to be able to get stuff done like this without very much issue, again, obviously newer hardware would be a smoother looking game. It would be smoother graphically. It would also be smoother because you could get up to like uh, a real smooth 60 frame rate lock instead of 30 and stuff like that, which would make it look even better. But for what they've got to work with, man, I think they've been killing it with these games. Oh, okay. Yeah, you too, buddy. Yeah, yeah. I am interested in your feedback and Cash's feedback and everything too as we move forward. Again, I'm not going to do any gaming content for the first half of this week, so just news, just news. I need to take a little bit of time. So, but it's good to see you, Ferret. It's good to see you, buddy. I hope you have a fantastic Mother's Day, man. Celebrate the loved ones, and appreciate you, brother. See what else we can find. Take it easy, man. I am pretty intrigued to because I just got down into the underworld part of stuff last night or yesterday, and I just got curious. I just got curious and like jumped down one, and luckily I had a fairy on me because I didn't know what was happening. I had no idea what was happening. Couldn't see anything, so I had a fairy on me, and I jumped down there. I just kept like free falling. I just kept like free falling, and I fell all the way down, and then like hit the bottom, and I died, and the fairy brought me back to life, and I was like, oh, this is wild. And like found that whole area, and I started like just shooting out the little lightning, or not lightning, but the light bulbs of the plants and stuff. It was pretty cool. One of Steam's greatest games can be played for free. Let's take a peek at this. Oof. Xbox fans discover major issue with Series S consoles. All right. This is clickbait. I'm not diving into that. Xbox needs to take influence from Nintendo. Good moves in the gaming industry are always influencing other big players in the industry. It's always happening. It just is. They're always emulating one another's better moves. It just happens. So, but I mean the thing. So the thing is, Xbox has had a rough time over the past year and a half, roughly, of first party releases. They haven't done a great job on that front, and so people are going, Xbox needs to copy these other, developers, and we got Starfield coming. Some of their recent ones have not been good, dude. That are under their label. Redfall's the latest iteration of a terrible one. So they need Starfield to be very good. We're gonna have a less than a month now. We're gonna have a dedicated Starfield Xbox showcase and everything, and it'll give us a lot more. And Starfield's not too far away, so there are a lot of people hyped about that game. It's the next big thing from Bethesda, and it's a totally different thing than we've ever gotten from Bethesda, being a space game. So it's intriguing. Bethesda's got some stuff to prove to us too, though, right? They've maybe not been in everyone's good graces over the past half decade, and so Bethesda needs to show up and show everybody that they've still got it, and Xbox definitely needs them to show up and get people back interested in being part of the Xbox branding, whether it be part of the console play or the Game Pass is really what they're looking for. But whatever the case may be, wait, people are actually able to play Jedi Survivor now? Kick. I'm gonna take a look at the recipe stuff in the game. If that's true, man, if you can just pull up recipes off of your um like items in your inventory, like the resources used to create those recipes, the cooking recipes, that's pretty impressive. Um, and I'm glad they did that, but it still doesn't fix the issue of the like not being able to quantity cook food, which sucks. At least I don't think they implemented that. I'll have to check next time I play. Another new Mortal Kombat 12 character leaked. Okay. Highly rated PS4 game on sale for just 80 cents US. Let's go. New Lord of the Rings RPG available for free, huh? All right, let's look at our other search here. Price reduction for Switch unlikely to happen because Nintendo doesn't drop prices on their products, man. So this is not a surprise. Yeah, I need to play some RDR2, man. I really do. It's on the schedule as like something to try to slot in if we could find time for it. But that's one of those games that's like you need a lot of time to play that. There are a bunch of games that we have just kind of backlog to play that I would just need a lot of time to play those games. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. So Hogwarts Legacy was supposed to release sorry. July, I think, mid July, something like that. Now it's like pushed back to November. It's just I don't see it happening. Even if it does, I mean they're gonna have to really, really, really degrade the quality of that game to get it on the Switch. There's just no doubt about it. We've seen games do that. Like you've gotten games like The Witcher 3 that have come out on Switch. You take a side by side comparison of what that game looks like on the Switch and what it looks like on all other platforms. It's a different game, dude. The Switch is just it's very underpowered, man. It's a great console, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely time for something new from Nintendo. 5 fun Nintendo Switch games for €5 or less. Let's go. All right, we'll just stick with this. It's going to be a pretty chill news day, man. One of Steam's greatest games can now be played for free. One of the greatest games to be released on Steam during the past few years can currently be played for free, but only for a limited time. In other words, the game in question can be downloaded and played for free, but not added to your library, which means once the trial period is over, you will lose access to the game unless you buy it outright. I said to couple the free trial is a 50% discount that knocks the game down to $50 to $25. As for what the mystery game is, it's Crusader Kings 3, one of the best strategy games ever made. Going to be a respective opinion there, but published by Paradox Interactive and developed by its internal studio, Paradox Development Studio, Crusader Kings 3 debuted on September 1st of 2020, boasting a 91 on Metacritic. That is very good. It has attracted millions of players since its release. Of these players, nearly 59,000 have left reviews for the game on Steam, and 92% of these reviews are positive, giving the game a very positive user review rating and almost an overwhelmingly positive rating, which is the highest rating you can earn on Steam and a quite rare one. Here you go. Take a look. Cappy, what's up, friendo? How you doing?
What a fool. Blinded by his desire for revenge, my husband threw himself at the mighty walls of our enemies. Through marriage, power, and influence, revenge will be...
What's going on? What's wrong?
You see, real strategy requires cunning.
There you go, Crusader Kings 3. As for the specifics of the free trial, the game is free to play until March 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern. In other words, it's free for the weekend. If you're interested in checking the game out on Steam Deck, you can, but it's not been verified for the platform by Valve, so how well it will run is unclear. It could be run largely problem-free, but it could also be quite messy on the handheld. Whatever the case is, it's really a game you'll want to play with a keyboard and mouse anyway, so checking it out on Steam Deck may not be a great idea in the first place. There you go. It's on sale and a free weekend. Cool? If you need anything out of there here. Hey, what? Yeah, that sounds awesome. It's Batman. That's who you're talking about, right? You're talking about Batman? It's Batman. I am Batman. Is it one of those giant fruit bats? Is that what it is? The ones that look like donkeys almost? Look at this. Yeah. It's like one of these. Yeah, it's one of these guys. Yeah. Yeah, they seem pretty dope, dude. They seem pretty cool. Yeah, like look how big that guy is. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I like bats. We had bats outside. Look at this. Look how big they are. They will chomp down some fruit too, man. They're pretty gnarly. Um yeah, like look how big they are. That's pretty cool. I like bats, dude. I think bats are cool. Look how dope that is. That's super cool. We had bats where I grew up. Like look at that one is so crazy. Those are crazy looking bats, dude. These guys are the ones I was talking about. Look how wild those look. They look like they've got like a dog slash like donkey head or something. It's wild. Yeah, it's crazy. We had bats where I lived growing up. They would we were pretty rural. We lived on a dead end street, and we were like, I think at one time it might still be that way. Like my parents' house was like the only house that had like a street lamp on the street in the yard. And so during the summer times, man, there's always like moths and stuff that would gather outside of it, because it's a light. And so in the summertime, man, bats would come and just like be all over the place around the light, and they'd just like swoop in. Not big bats like that, right? They're smaller bats. They look more like birds, but you can tell that they're bats by the way they fly. They got a really erratic kind of flying pattern. So birds are more like real graceful. Bats have this, like, at least the bats that I grew up around, they've got this real like kind of like jerky, erratic kind of flying pattern and stuff. It's really, really wild. Yeah, how dare they be bigger than me? That's funny, dude. Yeah. I also went to I got to see a bunch of bats come out of a cave when I was younger too. It was really gnarly. It was crazy looking. Xbox fans have discovered a potentially major issue with the Xbox Series S console that could plague the underpowered machine as the generation goes on. Games get increasingly more and more technically demanding. Got a complex about your height? Dare I ask how tall you are? You don't have to divulge that information if you don't want. There's a reason the Xbox Series S is only $300. We might have talked about this already. Compared to the $500 of the Xbox Series X. Under the hood, the Series S just isn't packing the same heat as the Series X or the PS5. For some, this has been a concern as questions have been raised on whether or not the Series S limitations will hold back the Series X and PS5 games. The answer to this is complicated, but it seems one thing is true. Series S owners are already experiencing these limitations. 160 centimeters? Exactly the size of a standard body pillow. God, dude. Oh, jeez, dude. Hold on, dude. You're not that short. Stop it. You're like uh you're like over 5'2". Yeah, right? Wait, no, you're like 5 1/4. So you're like what, like close to 5'4" almost? Something like that? You're like close to 5'4", right? Something? Shorter than average. Well, I mean, what's the worldwide average? I think the average woman's height for the world is like 5'6" or 5'7". Here, check it, dude. On a global scale, this is from December of 2022. On a global scale, the average height of men is around 5'9". Well, the average height of women is around 5'4". Dude, you're you're, you're average. Okay. So the glass is half full. You could be shorter. You know what I'm saying? Could be shorter. That's short there. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of people that find you being shorter cute. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they find the fact that you're a little bit shorter than other women to be a cute thing. Who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe it plays to your advantage. Well, I'll tell you this. Having a baby face is better in the long run. That's better in the long run. As you get older, people that look older now are going to look really busted whenever you're still looking pretty solid in older age. That baby face is it's gonna play to that's gonna be a strength for you in the long run. So you'll be all right. I'm sorry that you wish you were a little bit taller, you know. I'm sorry you're getting bodied by the bats. There's a reason the Series S is only $299 compared to the $500 Series X. Under the hood, Series S just isn't packing the same heat. Right. We know this, man. I mean, if you guys didn't know, though, Xbox loses money on every single console they sell. On the popular Reddit page, R Gaming, one Xbox Series S owner relayed an error screen they encountered while gaming In the middle of a game, an error screen popped up noting that the console ran out of video memory. This type of error isn't that uncommon with PC gaming, but it is not common at all on consoles. That's not a common one for me, dude. What? This happens on Borderlands 3 all the time. That or a straight up freeze crash, adds one of the comments. For some reason, it runs well on the Series S until it doesn't. Several crashes per lengthy game session. Seems Gearbox did a crap job of optimizing it. Runs fine on the Series X, though. Unclear if the combination of the Series S's limitations and poor optimization of the game being played are to blame. There are other possible explanations, like the engine misinterpreting the error code back from the API. That said, this isn't an isolated issue. Others have chimed in via the comments, noting this sometimes happens when they have multiple suspended states and quick resume. Easy to tell if this is the issue by simply ending some of these suspended states and noting if it makes a difference. Yeah. We've heard a lot of developers not like the fact that they've had to develop for both of those consoles too. Having to develop for not only different platforms, but then just for Xbox alone. Xbox for this generation has kind of told developers, like, if you want to release on our platform, you have to release for both the Series S and X. And a lot of developers are like turned off by that. They don't want to have to optimize for two different versions of the same platform. You know, most software creators are already struggling with having to, you know, they want to release on as many platforms as possible. So they're trying to, they have to, you know, get their game optimized for Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox and PC and, you know, or at least a number of those together. And anytime they want to go on Xbox, they've got to get it optimized for both the Series S and the Series X. Because quite often Microsoft goes, well, if you want to release on our platform, you have to release on both. And a lot of developers just aren't happy with that. Well, I mean, if they're teenagers about to be, you know, in their 20s or whatever, I mean, is that too young? I mean, I'm going off of like my own country and everything, right? But I mean, like basically 18 is quite often, you know, the age of consent and everything, where you're an adult and you can make your own choices and stuff, right? So I don't know. I mean, yo, I mean, I think that you've got to look at this in a different way, though. There are a lot of women out there that would be like flattered to be getting hit on by younger adult individuals. You know what I mean? So too young. Okay, I'm just saying. You know, it's not. It's again. I can understand where you're coming from to an extent, because like in high school, I was really, really little in high school. Even as a sophomore in high school, I was really short and I was really, really tiny. Like I was like 5 foot tall as a sophomore in high school. I was tiny, and I didn't think I was going to end up growing. My mother is not a very tall individual. She's pretty tiny individual. My dad's pretty big dude. My dad's like, my mom's not too much over 5 foot. She's always been pretty tiny. My dad's a big dude. My dad's like 6'2", you know, well over 200 pounds. So I just thought, I was like, dude, well, I just got my mom's genes, you know, like that's all it is. And so as a sophomore, the fact that I hadn't really grown, I was so tiny. I was like, man, I'm just stuck. And I ended up graduating at like 6 foot tall. So I hit a growth spurt finally, you know, but I was still super skinny. I didn't gain any weight. I just got taller. But I always looked pretty young, you know, I always looked pretty young too. And you know, I do think it's one of those things that, like, even as you continue, you know, to age, you'll see that, like, it works in your favor a little bit more than a lot of other people that might have aged in more of a, I guess, a traditional manner. You know what I mean? Like, looked their age longer or whatever. So who knows? This might be a blessing in disguise for you. All right. Who knows? Who knows? I'm sorry that it bugs you right now, though. I am. Highly rated and fairly popular PS4 game is currently only 80 cents on the PlayStation Store. Deal is only available for a limited time. We Were Here is only available until May 25th. It's a sequel. We Were Here 2 is also on sale for the same duration, but costs $3. Developed and published by Total Mayhem Games, We Were Here is a series debuted back in 2017 via its debut game titled the same thing. Since then, there have been 3 more releases in the series in 2018, 2019, and 2022. There's no Metacritic score for the PS4 version of the game. However, on Steam, the game boasts a very positive user review rating, with 91% of nearly 23,000 user reviews rating the game positively. This is only a few points short of the rare overwhelmingly positive rating. That said, the game is free on Steam, which may inflate the ratings a bit. Yeah. Let's see what this is. There you go. So this is free on Steam, they said? Oh, is that what it is? That's how you prove your age. Have your car keys out.
You will not stop me from lifting this curse. PlayStation.
All right, if you're interested, let me pull this up real quick. We Were Here. We Were Here. Yeah, it is free on Steam. Check it out. We Were Here is free on Steam. I'll share it with you guys. But if you want it on PlayStation, it's on sale right now too. There you go. Cool. So you can just go add to your library. Boom, you got it. Easy. Free game on Steam. All right. Let's look at Jedi Survivor. How's Jedi Survivor doing? Yo, 59% positive. Look out, everybody. Look out. How about Redfall? We haven't looked at Redfall here lately either. How's Redfall doing? Still at 32% positive. Yikers, man. Scout wig. Yeah, dude. God, I'm an idiot. What's up, buddy? New Lord of the Rings RPG available for free. New Lord of the Rings RPG released this week and it's free. That said, you're going to need to break out your mobile phones to play it, as it's only available on Android and iOS devices. Yeah, that's what I thought. Lord of the Rings, Heroes of Middle-earth comes the way of developer Capital Games and publisher EA. Blech. Gives players a chance to experience the series' more significant scenes, complete with its iconic characters. Here you go. Take a look.
A new
good old EA, dude.
How did
you know what that means?
Why?
Get ready for the in-game transactions, baby.
The power to bridge time.
I mean, it's a mobile game too, so you know they're gonna be there. What's up, dude?
Terrible evil.
If you're holding car keys, people go, "Oh, that's an adult."
The will to resist corruption.
So you see most people driving, and then you go, "Oh wait, that's not an adult."
Before it's too late. But when your enemy surrounds you,
that's a child with a driver's license.
Temptation. Will you stumble
yeah, free game
into
on Steam.
darkness?
Yeah, I linked it, dude. I linked it. It's right under your first message, Doug.
Against this enemy, there is only one choice: submit or rise. One last star before endless night. One last hope for Middle-earth.
You need me to link it again? Did it not show up for you or something? Over on the App Store, the game currently has 7 ratings that amount to a 4.1 out of 5 rating. A decent score. However, the pool of reviews is so small, the aggregate score is not very useful. That said, this rating is similar to its rating on the Google Store, which is 4.2. This score was calculated across nearly 5,000 reviews, though. Lots of potential. Feels very empty at the moment. It's got good bones, good art style, combo system between certain characters. Lots of potential, reads one of the reviews. Only downsides are progression slows to a crawl very quickly as you level up far slower than the campaign escalates. There are very few characters in the game to collect as of now, and it's missing a great deal of the main cast. Okay. Yeah, I knew that this was coming out. I think we had talked about this, but take a look if you want. This is the last article I have for the day, guys. I'm just going to take the rest of the day to prepare for the wife and kids getting home, and then I'm just going to hang out with my wife for Mother's Day, man. You know, try to call up my own mom and spend the rest of the day just enjoying company of family and stuff, man. So, and I don't know, I don't think I'm going to do really any gaming content for the beginning of this coming week either. I need to take a bit of a break and focus on some other stuff for a little bit. So, but I'll update everybody as we move forward. I'll still do the news, but I just need to take some time. 5 very fun Nintendo Switch games for €5 or less each. Nintendo and its offers through the eShop from Switch return with news. New discounts in games who are the sea of jovial and entertaining. What am I reading? These 5 very fun games for Nintendo Switch cost €5 or less. There's no excuse that is worth when deciding on someone, or well, maybe yes. We have selected some of the best in its genre, even titles that saw the birth of a franchise. Each of them greatly reduced and for which a breakfast would come out. In this list you will see both indie games as AA developments. Everything has a place. To top it off, one of the examples on our list has been developed by a Spanish studio founded in Tokyo with Spanish and Japanese employees. What is this, dude? What is... I can't even read this. Like, all right, so the games for €5 or less are Crypt of the Necrodancer, Switch Edition, The Takeover, Narita Boy, Guilty Gear, 99 Vidas. All right, so good luck working your way through what this article's trying to get across to you information-wise, but it appears that these games can be had right now on sale on the Nintendo eShop. So go take a look, maybe. I don't know. Some of these articles that get translated over to English, they're very, very difficult to read, man. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Go kiss your mamas. Go kiss your mamas. And if you've got people in your life that, I don't know, if you've got kids and you've got people in your life that have played the role of a mother to your own kiddos biologically or have just played the role of a mother or whatever, then, go tell them thanks for the job they've done to help you, or if you've done that yourself, happy Mother's Day and thank you, It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, and it's a day to show your appreciation for those people that have either raised you or have played a role as a mother to you or has been a partner in your life and helping you raise children, or even if it's you yourself that has done that, then I'll just tell you thank you from myself. For there are a lot of kids in the world that don't necessarily get to always experience the joys of having a mother that cares. And so to everybody out there that does that, you deserve it, and I appreciate you. So, to my own mother and my own mother-in-law and my wife, thank you guys. I appreciate it very much. Everything you've always done for me, and to my wife for our own kids, you know, it's an amazing thing, and I'm very appreciative. And to Mama Sherry, I miss you. I love you. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. I don't know. Go kiss your mothers. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow. 6 o'clock a.m. CST. We'll do video gaming news. And again, I don't think I'll probably get into any more gaming content until later in the week. I just need a little bit of time. So, get some stuff taken care of, get some stuff sorted out and everything. But we'll keep doing the news, okay? You guys rock. I appreciate you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to one another, all right? You guys are amazing. I guess.